like I said, there's a reason why I put them fifth in my power rankings at 5-0, and I get the argument they find ways to win. Don't get me wrong, but they genuinely did not have a definitive win. Right. I don't mind the one gamer, which is like it makes it more intense and everything goes nuts, right? Now, obviously, I'm not saying this as a Jays fan. I'm just thinking in general. Like that's where true managing comes in. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another BTR podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe, and help us get to 200 subscribers by the end of this month.
Yeah, and make sure you guys follow our TikTok, our Instagram, our Twitter for all updates, all clips, YouTube Shorts as well. So subscribe, get that number to 200 as soon as possible. Audio listeners, make sure you guys download the podcast, whatever platform you guys use, and give it a 5-star rating if you enjoy it. But at the same time, I'm going to take a through-the-wire approach. If you're listening to this podcast through audio platforms, go to the YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, watch it for 30 seconds to give us a view and time, and then go back and listen to it on the audio platform. And same thing, whoever's watching this video on YouTube or listening as a YouTube video, go to the audio platform, download the podcast.
We're desperate. We're getting desperate.
Hey, we gotta find a way to promote. Yeah. So this is a test. Let's see if this works.
Please do that.
All the other ones do it too, so we might as well.
Yeah. So just do it.
Before we go with today's conversations, topics, and stuff, we just dropped a banger new podcast episode with a guest, as we teased last week. Amr Mandir, he's a local guy, physio. Some people might know him as Jasmine Mandir's older brother, which we referenced as a joke on the podcast.
Soccer coach as well.
Represented New Zealand. I guess you could say represented New Zealand's women's team when they came here to play against Canada.
As a physio.
Not
as a player, as a physio.
As a physio, and that came out Saturday, and we dropped a clip already. So make sure you guys check that out. As for this week, we will be recording our NBA tier list video. Hopefully, we have no issues with that in terms of technology like we did with the NHL one. But that should be coming out this weekend. We should be recording that sometime this week. As well as an NBA season preview will be filmed sometime this week, early next week, because the NBA season starts on the 24th. So we will officially be on all sports watch, essentially the ones that we care about. But for everybody in the world, there's a Rugby World Cup going on. I think F1 just finished, but if that is going on,
Cricket World Cup
is going on. But for the ones that we care about, is you already know which ones we care about the most. So we'll be talking about
the big five.
The big five plus whatever MMA stuff there is, or any big story that comes out.
Tennis or something.
So keep an eye out on that. Make sure you guys like and subscribe though. And turn on the post notification so you know when that video comes out. Without a further ado, let's get right into it. We'll get right into the NFL because I think that's like the biggest sport we've been paying attention to the most. We will get into MLB Playoffs after this, for those of you guys wondering. But let's go very quickly to Thursday Night Football with the Broncos and the Chiefs. Yeah, because I fell asleep when I came home, and that's when I started feeling sick. Apologies if my voice doesn't sound the same as the other ones. But hopefully Joven somehow uses editing magic.
I can't. I generally don't know what I'm doing.
Thursday Night Football, I came home. I literally just passed out. So...
Broncos.
I had the game on, but it wasn't entertaining enough for me to stay awake.
I watched it. Mahomes wasn't great himself. They kept on showing Taylor Swift again, so that's getting annoying. Yeah. And Travis Kelce killed it, especially first half. I think he had 100 receiving yards. And Broncos couldn't get any offense, right? This game was on the offense mainly. Defense held them in. Like, the only way you could beat the Chiefs is like... to not let them score touchdowns in the red zone. Force them field goals as many times as possible. And they did that.
What was the score? 19-8?
19-8 was the score.
So at one point, what I remembered was, I think I watched the first half a little bit before. I didn't see much Taylor Swift in the first half. And I remember, I think it was Al Michaels who tweeted it, or said it at least in a public broadcast prior to the game, that they're not going to try to show Taylor Swift much. So you be the judge of that. I don't know how much they showed.
They did better.
That they're not... the audience here...
Stop talking about Taylor Swift now.
No. I'm just saying that I'm not talking about her. I'm saying that I'm saying what he's saying.
Yeah.
That he said that...
They did better. That's all.
No. Let me finish, man. That he said that they're... the reasoning is that people are here to watch a football game. So that's what it should be on. Yeah, if a big thing happens, great. Other than that, it should be on the football game. But yeah, back to it. From what I remembered, it was 16-0 or something like that. And it became 16-8 when I woke up and saw a little bit of the highlights. And then it was Harrison Bucker had a clutch field goal to close it off.
There's not really much to talk about, right? Their offense was dreadful. Chiefs' defense is real. Like, they've definitely gotten better. And Mahomes, there's no statement real Chiefs win this year other than the Bears, and I don't count that. Like, the Chiefs' offense doesn't look like what they were last year. Mahomes doesn't look like what he was last year. So, but at the end of the day, they're winning games, and defense is a big reason why.
How much of it is a lack of a wide receiver number one, and Bieniemy gone?
It's more Bieniemy for me because like you did the same thing last year, right?
But they had I thought Juju's better than Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, no,
last year you partnered, especially later on when they figured it out. They partnered Kadarius Toney and Juju.
Yeah, but to me it wasn't as big as it was still like they were able to manage it. Whereas Bieniemy is Matt Nagy and Bieniemy. That's the difference, right? I'm not saying anything wrong about Matt Nagy, but in my opinion, Bieniemy is better as well.
Because obviously we know the play caller is Andy Reid, but we don't know what happens behind the scenes in practices and preparation, right? So that's how maybe both of those guys took it differently. But yeah, you said it, but they're still the Chiefs at the end of the day.
They still need a wide receiver. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a big excuse because I think they've still found a way to do it last year, and this year I guess is really hitting them this year instead of last year.
Yeah. Especially with the other teams being... Actually, no, there's a lot of teams that haven't run away with anything in both sides, right? I guess we'll get to the Niners and the Eagles in a second. But, yeah, like I don't think there's any one specific. Because, like, yeah, when we're doing our power rankings, the best was the 49ers, no doubt about it, right? They had the biggest statement win out of all of them, which was the Cowboys. And Eagles, again, like I said, not anything special, which is why I had them fifth at one point, even though they were undefeated. The Chiefs did have a statement win at the end of the day. Yes, the Bears.
Okay, it's not a statement win if it's the Bears.
But like they put a butt whooping. Like some of these teams struggle. Like today, we're gonna get to perfect transition. Sunday Night Football. Everybody thought the Bills would destroy the Giants. Did it happen? No. At least the Chiefs did that. At least one. Right. Now I agree with you. It's the Bears, but at the same time, like other teams have not done that. And let's get right into Sunday Night Football because this is why the defensive side of the thing is real. If they get clicking with the Giants.
The Giants
with
on
the Giants
paper actually have decent defense.
That's
right?
why I was like my prediction before I went back on it, being a little coward now that I am.
The issue was offense.
The issue was the offense mainly, but like defensively, there was no reason to give up 40 to the Cowboys in week one.
To be fair, sack, fumbles, interceptions.
Okay, yeah, true.
They put them in terrible positions.
Yeah,
they give up points.
And then like they were struggling both again offensively and defensively. They were struggling against the Cardinals at the beginning, and then the rest of the games they played. But defensively, I miss Bobby Okereke, even though he's not a big loss for us because Zaire Franklin and EJ Speed are carrying that load right now. But if we had Bobby, it would have been perfect still. But he's named captain there for a reason. Their run defense was questionable because there were like a lot of 1st and 10s. Yeah, and they were converting them early with Latavius Murray and James Cook.
But still, you have Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Kayvon Thibodeau. Like on paper, your defense is good, and they finally played like that today.
They said on the broadcast. Now let's flip to the offense quickly because before we talk about the Bills, I think it's like over 248 minutes or something like that where they did not get a touchdown, and that streak is continuing.
Exactly, yeah.
That streak is continuing. I'm gonna go back there. Okay, so the final score was it was a 5-point game. I think it was
49.
49. Sorry, I was thinking 17-12 for some reason. 49, and the reason why they lost this game is because what happened at the end of the half. The management of the clock was brutal, and I don't know if that because like the way. So what happened was essentially. They decided to do run play with 2 seconds to go instead of kick, or not 2 seconds to go. Like there was some like 10 seconds to go.
Right? They did
they did a run play, and then the Bills did the classic "don't get off" thing quick.
Yeah,
and sometimes they'll get away with it, sometimes you won't. And they couldn't like spike it or get in time to do a field goal at least.
So here the issue was here is like apparently it's supposed to be a option play. whereas there's a run built in every play. That's what they're saying on the broadcast. And Dable seemed pissed off at Taylor and stuff, Tyrod Taylor.
That people thought it, like, commentators thought it might have been audible as well.
Oh, yeah, something like that, because Dable looked confused himself. So I don't know
how much... Kafka calls the plays.
Yeah, so right? I don't know how much of it... Was it coaching, or was it just like Taylor saw something? He's like, okay, Saquon could probably punch it in. And Buffalo doing what they do, like, any defense is going to do. Not even stuffing. I'm talking about like just delaying the game as much as they can, get off any extra seconds, and the clock ran out.
The thing with the clock, even okay, listen, if they didn't even get a touchdown, I would just take the 3 points, because now in hindsight, being 2020, we knew the Bills weren't gonna get shut out realistically. I don't think they were gonna get shut out. If they did, we would have been talking about the Bills first instead of the Giants. But the reason why I'm bringing this up was now in hindsight, what was it, 14-9? It would have been 14-12, and now we'll fast forward to the end of the game. Which I thought, by the way, was a pass interference again on Darren Waller.
Yeah,
but they had to run like a 2-minute drill type of thing.
They needed a touchdown, and
they needed a touchdown to win, and they made some big plays, spiked it. Clock management was better, and Darren Waller got in the end zone, pass interference, right call. Then again they're essentially the same situation. Now, people thought Saquon would have run that one. I was okay with the play. Maybe a better runoff. Tyrod Taylor could have done better in terms of pocket presence, maybe in some sense. But he was getting all out blitzed at that point. Yeah. But I thought Darren Waller was held, and that was a PI in general. But you would not have been into that situation, because it would have been a 14-12 game, and Graham Gano, who's a decent kicker,
field goal to
solid
win.
Kicker, and with that close, would have been a field goal to win it. So. That's where it ultimately ends up being bad. But yeah, that's a Giant story. I don't want to go too much into it. They could have had the win, right? But they didn't.
Yeah, so my thoughts quickly on the Giants is that they play better, obviously. And honestly, the way that bad their offense is, this is how they're going to win games. This is how we're going to beat the Bills.
Yeah.
Right? And they almost found a way to do it. Yeah, that's obviously the play at half in the second quarter and was costly for sure.
Yeah.
But the fact that you were able to drive down and still manage to, obviously it helps when Tyler Bass misses a field goal as well to give you better field position. But with Tyrod Taylor, they did this much. My point is that I'm going to say is that, like, you paid the wrong guy. Clearly, this game proves it, because you were Daniel Jones on the sideline and your offense looked way better.
Yeah.
Because they're on the red zone many times. They just couldn't convert it into touchdowns.
When did Saquon go out?
Wait, but my point is, like, they were moving the ball fine.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't convert into touchdowns. So that was
gonna be my next question to you. Is Saquon? Sorry, not Saquon. Daniel Jones or Tyrod Taylor next game, assuming Saquon or Tyrod Taylor is healthy. But at the end of the day, there was no touchdown. But when was Saquon hurt? Week 2? Week 3?
So he played week 1 and 2.
You would know because of your fantasy. That's why also.
He was out week 3, 4, and 5.
So this is week 6. Okay, so how much do you think can help now Daniel Jones as Saquon's back?
I mean, it should help.
It should help, right? So, like, if Daniel Jones is healthy...
At the end of the day, like, the point is that, like...
The ball moved better. I get what you mean.
No, not that. The point is, you paid the wrong guy because...
let
me finish. With Saquon alone, you had such... Like, you were able to move the ball so well.
Yeah.
With Daniel Jones alone, you can't even do anything.
Yeah, what I was going to say was...
Seattle game. Prime example of that.
Well, what I was going to say was, like, we don't need to revisit it because we said this like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying this game proves it because we saw them individually now.
For sure. Let's see what they do together, because like I said, the reason, again, I've alluded to it, you add Darren Waller there, that you should be a much better offense than last year. Now, last thing, should Daybell be calling plays?
I guess, right?
Did Kafka, do you know if Kafka called plays last year or no?
I think he did.
Because Kafka was getting head coaching interviews.
I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'll be honest with you.
Like, he was shortlisted on a bunch of teams. Obviously, Colts being one of them. But
I thought Daybell was, but I don't know. Like, I'll be honest with you.
Because if that's the case, if it's switched, then it's bullshit. But if it's not, it might be time to change it.
I think it might be same.
It might be time to change it now.
Yeah, I feel like Daybell should take control.
Because he yelled at Kafka at the end of the half as well.
Yeah. So Daybell, like, we saw what Daybell did to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I was excited for when they hired Daybell. I was like, you could potentially do that to Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones is like a rookie Josh Allen in his 5th year.
Yeah, I guess the difference is, like,
that's what he's playing like.
The upside is way different because Daniel Jones was skyrocketing in the draft and he wasn't supposed to go that high. But let's go to the Bills very quickly. obviously coming off a dud from
Before we start that, prayers up for Damian Harris.
yeah.
Got ambulanced off the field. Not even
It was a neck injury.
Yeah.
He gave a thumbs up.
and they said he was moving his arms
Yeah.
and legs. So,
But did you notice something? Oh yeah, so prayers up. I don't mean to like jump off of that. But did you see the ambulance? Damar Hamlin was like pictured behind the ambulance in terms of like painting, and people are like, obviously depending on who likes these type of jokes, but that like being jersey retired essentially on an ambulance is next level wild. But yeah,
that's dark.
yeah, that's not me. Like I just saw that. I was like, oh shit. Okay, I didn't look for one. I thought someone was like saying something else, but I noticed it was on that. But Bills obviously bad performance against the Jags, and then
It wasn't terrible. The thing was obviously defense wasn't great. Run defense, especially ATN went off for like 160 yards.
And then this game offense couldn't really get going.
It wasn't. What I was gonna say, like Josh Allen, like numbers wise, when you look at it, it was just like they weren't complementary, right? Like it was one moment their defense going off, and one moment offense going off. Nothing clicked together, and that's how you win games, right? Like you could be shit the whole game. If you have like 3 drives that click together where defense gets stopped, offense scores, you could still win a game.
Yeah, I don't like offensively. They were first half was obviously not good. Tyler Bass missed a field goal as well. Second half he was not doing like hero plays, but he did complete some.
It was one incompletion in the second half.
Yeah, so like second half was a different story. That being said, the last play before Bass missed the second field goal, should they have run it? Should they have not? That could have been a completion at the end of the day. I get it, but
no,
obviously
I'm running that play 100%.
That exact play.
Yeah, I mean, it works for a lot of teams, right? And yes, Josh Allen it might have been a little bit low throw, but Dawson Knox had 2 hands on it at the end of the day, right? And if Josh threw it a little bit higher, it should have been a catch. Dawson Knox, in my opinion, because he's a decent tight end, he should be coming up with that ball anyways. So the play call was right. It was just I guess a individual error, like, and that's why.
And then it doesn't help when the field goal. At the end of the day, obviously hindsight, everything worked out, but that could have been like the costly game.
Yeah, it would have been a costly drop for sure.
Okay, let's get into the biggest story of the NFL. We have no more undefeated teams remaining. The San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy have officially lost their first games in the regular season. Brock Purdy career-wise regular season, and San Francisco in general, and Philadelphia. Maybe more of a surprise there. Actually, not really.
No.
But yeah, they both undefeated. Both are no longer undefeated. So, and then there's one winless team still, which is the Carolina Panthers. Again, we've talked about them last week. You guys could check out last Monday's podcast episode of what we think of our prediction is on when they will win a game, I believe. But that being said, let's go San Francisco. I don't think they played terribly. PJ Walker ended up getting the win instead of the $230 million man and Deshaun Watson, but it doesn't help when Moody missed 2 field goals and the game-winning one. Christian McCaffrey got hurt, Deebo Samuel got hurt, and then I'm gonna throw this name. I know I've said underrated wide receivers before, but Brandon Ayuk is officially on that list for me, along with Tyler Lockett and Terry McLaurin.
He is killing it.
But yeah, he's been killing it. He carried that load. He got it into field goal range. The rookie kicker Moody missed. I think it was like 40
George Kittle, man, what the hell? As well.
Yeah.
Like 1 reception, 1 yard or something like that.
Yeah.
It was, it doesn't help. But at the end of the day, right, they weren't able to pull away like how they've done so many times this season. And they were, I think, 10-0 up, right? At one point, I believe they were 10-0 up.
At halftime, they were 10-7 up. That's all I know.
So I think they were 10-0 up. If you scroll down, you can see like the order of scoring as well.
10-0 up.
Yeah, so like usually when they're in that position, they usually pull away. Yes, obviously it doesn't help. McCaffrey's injured, but you still have so many weapons, right? And kicker-wise, yes, for sure. He missed 2 field goals. I think those are his first 2 misses of the year.
That's the theme of this week, including college football, starting with that Oregon game, were missed field goals. Because obviously how we watch football is we have the Colts on as priority, but we have a second screen on, whether it be your laptop or whatever, to play Red Zone.
Yeah.
And all I saw Red Zone was obviously Tyler Bass and Sunday Night Football missed kicks. The afternoon games we didn't really watch because you had a soccer game, but I had it on in case. But the morning games, a bunch of missed field goals. That's all I kept seeing: missed field goal, missed field goal, missed field goal. And this game happened to be one of them. They went down the field. They gave up a field goal. Now, there was also a bullshit penalty, I think, right after you left for the game.
Yeah.
There was a bullshit penalty that was, I think there would have been a 5-yard penalty of holding, but that got declined because it was like a roughing the passer, I think, or something.
On who?
On San Francisco.
So PJ Walker.
No, yeah, it was like a late hit. I don't even something like that.
Late hit
I don't know if it was on PJ Walker. I don't know if it was on PJ Walker. So roughing the passer might be the right one, but like whoever he threw the football to, like it was like they called it like a high hit, but it wasn't a high hit.
What do you mean roughing the passer?
I said I forgot. Okay, I said take away roughing the passer. I said it might have been not roughing the passer.
Unnecessary
but
roughness?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
I thought it was PJ Walker, but then I'm like, wait, it's not PJ Walker. It might have been a different player. Is what I meant to say.
So it was on Cleveland's offense.
It was not Cleveland's offense. So like it was
San Francisco defense
got a penalty, and then they had that obviously moved them up the field, and then moved another penalty, moved them up the field, got the field goal, and then Brock Purdy got them in field goal range with the help of Brandon Ayuk, like I mentioned, and missed the field goal.
I mean, if you miss field goals, you're not gonna win, right? Like that's 6 points off there. But shout out to Cleveland's defense, right? Been really good for sure. Myles Garrett, absolute killer as well, and just overall they've been killing it on that side of the ball. And they're 3-3 now, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
And we'll see. You get Deshaun Watson back. You get you play the Colts next week, so should win that game especially if Watson's back healthy. And but this game would have been like a big one if the Cleveland had their quarterback. But at the end of the day, they still made it a game, and San Fran weren't able to pull away.
Philly. So when this game finished, Philly was the afternoon game, PST time for us, and here we are. We're like, okay, when we do a power ranking, Philly probably should win this game, and they're probably our new number one. Even though I wasn't high on them this year based on how they've been performing, but they ended up losing. I think Jalen Hurts threw his first 3 interception game. Aaron Rodgers, before we get into the game, Aaron Rodgers is already walking and throwing football. Pre-game, he was throwing a football. Like, obviously not full-fledged, but he was still, like, throwing a football, walking without crutches. So maybe he might be onto something when he's coming back for the postseason. But that, similar to the Cleveland defense, that Jets defense is real. So as long as you get competent quarterback play, you should be able to steal games.
I think this was without Sauce.
Yes, without Sauce.
Without Sauce. And
Sauce Gardner,
yeah. And like I said, Zach Wilson these last 3 weeks, give him credit because he found out he's 2-1 and played a good game against the Chiefs as well. So maybe like you said, Aaron Rodgers onto something. Maybe Jets, if they keep it like this, and Aaron Rodgers does come back, they definitely could have a chance. But a 3-3 football team with Zach Wilson, I don't think anyone expected that.
Especially how he performed those 2 games.
Those first 2 games, yeah.
Full games after that Buffalo game, right? Philly, like I said, there's a reason why I put them 5th in my power rankings at 5-0. And I get the argument they find ways to win, don't get me wrong. But they genuinely did not have a definitive win, right? Because they played weaker teams too. And they were struggling for the most part, right? Let me pull up their schedule very quick. But
Zach Wilson outperformed Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
No TDs, but no interceptions as well. I mean, when you got Brees Hall, you got to be running the ball. And, like Zach Wilson's in there just doing what he's supposed to do now. He's not bringing the team down. And he's playing like a quarterback you could win with right now.
So, listen. They struggled against the Patriots. They struggled against the Vikings in terms of closing out a game. They did well with Bucks. I get that. They won in overtime against the Commanders.
Yeah.
They were close with the Rams, and they lost this game. Right? Nothing was definitive, really, for me. Except against Tampa Bay. Next, coming up, Dolphins, Commanders, Cowboys, bye, Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Cowboys, Seahawks.
That's tough.
Okay? They had an easy part of their schedule, and they were struggling.
Dumb and Bengals.
Right?
Dumb and Bengals are going to have a tough stretch coming up now.
Like Bengals have the hardest schedule, I believe, left in the league.
Yeah.
But talking about the Eagles here, I guess Shane Steichen was that big of a loss offensively that they can't figure it out. It
genuinely is, I guess.
Because like Shane Steichen's pulling out plays for Gardner Minshew, except today. But like when he comes into the games and with Anthony Richardson getting plays done, right? I don't know if Steichen's calling plays or whoever their OC is now, or not Steichen, sorry. Sirianni's calling plays or
I think
whoever
it's
their
the
OC is.
I think it's OC.
Maybe same thing. You might have to give a play call. I understand they're 5-1. Their defense is legit.
The issue was with Sirianni. That's why it was struggling before.
Yeah,
and
but
it got moved to Steichen.
Clearly, it's struggling now. So you might have to go back to Sirianni.
But yeah, no, defensively they're perfectly fine.
Yeah,
It's just offensively, there's just things that are missing right now, and whether that be with play calling, personnel, but it shouldn't be a personnel issue because you found a way to do it last year.
because like in my opinion, was my biggest question mark for this team was how would they respond with losing, especially offensively, their play calling and defense. Well, sorry, both the coordinators, but specifically play calling.
Yeah.
Right. And so far, they've like I get it, they've pulled out wins, but again, they pulled out wins against weak teams. The true test is next week when they play Miami, and Miami has a defense that's pretty there, and who knows if Jalen Ramsey's back next week or the week after.
He can, yeah. I think he's practicing this week now,
Yeah,
so he could be back.
and Ramsey's has a history with AJ Brown, Jags, Titans, I believe. I'm not sure if that's,
I'm not sure if they crossed over.
but if they did for 1 year.
I think Brown.
This is Brown's second year, and Ramsey's.
No, not that. I'm talking about Brown. I think Brown got drafted in 2019, so I don't know when the trade happened.
Oh, okay, so I might be wrong about that, but maybe they crossed over for 1 year, from all I know.
I mean,
But either way, like you're bringing back another stud with Xavier Howard, Javon Holland already back there, and yeah, so like your tough schedule coming up. You guys were my favorites to win the division, rightfully so. You guys were my favorites to be the best in the conference, arguably, with the Niners, rightfully so. But the difference is the Niners still looked decent today. You guys did not look decent offensively, right?
And Niners had injuries, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so
at the end of the day, like your team's gonna get worse when McCaffrey gets injured. The best.
Obviously,
he still found a way to get another touchdown.
Yeah,
and he's on a 15-game streak, so we'll see what happens there as well.
Obviously, we're gonna drop our power rankings tomorrow and Wednesday, mine or depending on whatever day we choose to do it. And you guys will find out who we believe, because the title of this video is probably gonna be who's the best team in the NFL. And we've talked about the three best there: the Chiefs, Niners, and Eagles. You could, I guess, throw in the Bills. You could throw in the Ravens, the Dolphins, Detroit Lions, even. So
the
right
Lions
now,
are ahead of the Ravens.
But right now though, like, are you more confident in a bounce back from the Niners or more confident in a bounce back from the Eagles?
Niners.
Okay,
Niners.
Niners or Chiefs?
Niners. I'm still giving it to the Niners. At the end of the day, they were in a position to win a game.
Health
right?
matters now.
Health does matter for sure, but they were in a position to win the game, right? At the end of the day, kicker, you expect a kicker to make a kick.
Yeah.
I'm not saying kicking is easy, right? Clearly on college game day, Pat McAfee kicking contest, and I think finally someone made it this past weekend. The second try though, but yeah, kicking's not easy. But at the end of the day, like your offense still put you in the position to win, and they just didn't execute.
The Chiefs have an easier schedule remaining than both of those teams, I believe, because like the Chiefs, oh wow, their week 9 game against the Dolphins is at 6:30 in the morning.
Chiefs Dolphins?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Germany or something.
Yeah, which sucks. Cause that would have been a good test, right? But yeah, out of those, I think those are the still top 3 teams in my opinion. Well, obviously without doing anything on the top of my head research, but yeah, for me,
check out the power rankings.
Yeah, check out the power rankings, how we rank it. But the Eagles, for sure, they need to fix their thing.
There's question marks.
They haven't,
100%.
like I said, they haven't. Like we mentioned it, they haven't figured out their offense. And if they figure that out, whether it be Sirianni calling plays, whether it be Jalen Hurts figuring out why he's messing up, because like how much do you think it's Jalen Hurts' mechanics / decision making compared to like actual play calling?
No, it's a mix of both, right? This is not an easy fix right now, and it's definitely a mix of both. Like at the end of the day, if you're executing the plays, play calling is not going to be an issue, right?
Yeah.
But then obviously there's certain situations where like, you know, why are you calling that play instead of a running play for some reason, like something like that as well. So it's a mix of both. It's definitely a mix of both for how bad it's been for the first 5 weeks, and they're still 6 weeks, and they're still 5-1. So they'll find a way, and at the end of the day, you know, just make the playoffs and see what happens. But your schedule is getting tougher, so you're gonna have to play better. As simple as that. But yeah, I mean, so that any other game you want to talk about? Obviously,
before we get to Indy,
Detroit.
Yeah,
They're-
20-6 on
should
Tampa.
be undefeated.
That was one of my upset alerts, candidacies.
Yeah, but Detroit should be undefeated, right? They blew it against Seattle.
Yeah.
They've been playing good football since. Amon-Ra had a monster game again. I think 10 plus receptions or something, 100 plus yards and a touchdown. And I think this is without Jahmyr Gibbs, I believe.
Well, they didn't use him much.
They don't use him much, but like they had a couple injuries. I forgot who it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jared Goff is still looking good, still looking nice. And the Lions are looking nice as well. And they are, believe it or not, they're tied for the number 1 seed.
Yeah. Let me see who has the edge right now, just based on how.
And Lions have the easiest schedule remaining. Strength of schedule, by the way, as well.
So, wild card wise, the ranking is they're third. So it's Eagles, Niners now.
Yeah.
Lions, Bucks. Which, by the way, I'm not gonna get to the Saints today, but man,
Oh my God, Saints, they're disappointing.
yeah. Indy. Let's just close off with there. The rest of the NFL talk we'll wait till happens, or we're gonna talk about Monday Night Football after this. But after that, we'll be talking about it on Thursday because there's a big Monday Night Football game, so we can't go too much.
But Indy and Jacksonville. You want to go first?
Let me go first with one thing I want to say. I think we might two things I want to say. One, curses might be real, even though I'm exaggerating here, but curses might be real because this is now our 9th straight loss. Again at Jacksonville Stadium.
Never won in Jacksonville. Last win in
2014,
Jacksonville. 2014, yeah.
And then one of them happened to be in Jacksonville, to be exact, because one of them was a London or something game. Second thing is those people that were saying, Colts fans wise or whatever, that Gardner Minshew should have been the starter, proved today why that argument is wrong. That it should be Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson was missed.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the number one takeaway from this.
I saw the perfect analogy, and this is the analogy. Gardner Minshew is the best relief pitcher in baseball type.
Yeah.
And he's not like, I guess, remember when the Blue Jays had, who's the pitcher that went, Ross Stripling? Even though he had a good session as a starter last year, that's different. But you would consider him as a top-end reliever and then a bottom-half pitcher. That's what Gardner Minshew is. If you want to put him in a starting role where a team has to prep for him, he's considered as like a league below starter.
25 at max.
Yeah.
Out of the 32.
And then if you're going to consider him as like a relief pitcher, then he's one of the best. Because he's 3-0 because of as a relief duty. Or 2-0, sorry.
And then Baltimore he started, but
he struggled then
he didn't struggle. Simple as this, right? Yes, I would like to see more running, but we were getting stuffed. Like Jacksonville was really stacking the box, and which is smart, right? They're trying to make Gardner Minshew pass the ball, move the ball.
And he struggled. He struggled. Some of the passes were like, what the hell?
At the end of the day, right? We were in this game if those interceptions didn't happen. I'm not even take away the first half turnovers, strip sack, and the interception.
The comeback was there.
The comeback was there. Is that pick and the end zone? I think that was his third one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And fourth and goal, obviously blitz. He was backing off. Obviously, when you're backing off, throw power is a little bit less, and easy pick for the Jacksonville defender. Didn't really give Pittman a chance. It was 1-on-1. Whereas I think he had enough time to stand in there and really dish the ball out, move it to the sideline more, where Pittman could have gotten a touchdown there. If that was a touchdown, the next drive was even better because they got a touchdown in 2 minutes. It would have been a 1-score game. I think a 7-point game.
Was the Pittman the target interception? Was it after a pick?
That was a pick.
No. After our pick, Juju's first pick.
Yeah.
That was after that.
That was off the interception.
Yeah, I remember I was just saying perfect time for a pick.
So basically, it was Downs touchdown, Juju Brent's pick, Minshew pick on 4th and goal, then Colts force 3 and out, and then Colts drive 2 minutes. Legit, Kylan Granson had 2 catches. One was 46, one was another 20, and a Zach Moss touchdown. But at the end of the day, you left it too late, right? First half was ugly. Defensively, we're getting cooked as well in the first 2 drives. First drive is Jacksonville. And ultimately, the Colts today looked like what everyone expected them to look like.
Yeah.
In the end.
Very quickly, I thought, should have maybe taken more deep shots or something? Because Gardner had plays to Kylan Granson, and I think it was Josh Downs, maybe. I don't know
Pittman.
who it was.
It was Pittman.
Pittman as well. Maybe it's more screen passes because JT had a good run there. But again, like great credit to Jacksonville's defensive planning. Maybe Steichen could have been better in play calling for sure.
Could have been better for sure. It wasn't his best game at all.
I hate the fact that everything was a check down. That's the thing that frustrated me the most.
That was the worst.
And now Alec Pierce might be out with a shoulder injury. So, very quickly on Anthony Richardson, potentially heavily considering season-ending shoulder surgery on that AC sprain, grade 3 AC sprain.
In his throwing shoulder, right?
In his throwing shoulder, which will end his season, which will end his season. Which, you know what, might be the right play. Just this was supposed to be a throwaway year anyways, and we're already playing above expectations at the beginning. Unlike other teams, Carolina.
Honestly, just get to 5 wins. Get more than wins last year now.
I mean, I don't care. If you could somehow get Marvin Harrison Jr., I'll take that.
Yeah, but I think we're already beyond that situation.
We're at 3. Chicago's at 2. No, Chicago's at 1.
Chicago's at 1 and 2.
Carolina is at so you're
Chicago's 1 and 2 because Chicago has Carolina's pick.
Yeah,
and then you have Arizona as well.
But yeah, that's how it is. We're still in it though.
We're still in it. Yeah, I'm not saying like the season's over, but I'm just saying Anthony Richardson was missed
because the running attack.
Yeah, and
hopefully now the thing is, can JT and Zach Moss, whoever's the main runner now, which is probably gonna be JT.
Like I could still, as much as Minshew was bad, he made some good throws, especially near the end. The issue was the turnovers. Yeah. Right? If those turnovers didn't happen, we had this game. As simple as that.
Next game, like we said, it was Cleveland, like you alluded to it. Myles Garrett's coming in town, and potentially we have a kind of hampered O-line right now at the moment, depending. But the main thing is, can JT, hopefully JT, but also Zach Moss, whoever's running, gets going.
I would like to see more rushing. I don't want to see Minshew throwing 55 times.
Yeah,
that was a little bit too much. But yeah, so that's the Indy Jacksonville. Credit them. Last 3 games, they look like themselves again, and they're showing why they were the best team in the AFC South for the last 3 games here.
Yeah, they might be in consideration for rankings too now, because they beat Buffalo at the end of the day. I get it, it's in London, but still. All right, Monday Night Football. Pretty big one for once. Now, every time we've been excited for a Monday Night Football game.
It's because the Giants and the Raiders and the Packers are all like primetime game Bears.
But they were like still close games because some of them were close because they were like just shit, so they were close. But like there were games that we were excited for, and they just became duds, right?
That's true too, yeah.
In this case, it's the Chargers coming off a bye week against Dallas, coming off a brutal loss to the Niners. So we'll just give a prediction, give our thoughts quickly. I'm going with the upset. I'm going with the Chargers. 1, I just want to see Dallas lose. 2, now I get it. Dallas might be looking for vengeance defensively as well, but if Trayvon Diggs has really missed that much, I could see Justin Herbert picking that apart. The main question is, can Chargers O-line hold up the D-line? Especially, can they learn from the Niners and maybe figure out a plan for Micah Parsons? And I trust Justin Herbert to throw the ball well enough. My only question mark is, are the Chargers going to charge it up, a.k.a. Staley?
Yeah.
So Chargers for me, let's say within a score.
Yeah. Mike Williams is not there. That'll be obviously torn ACL.
But that's why you also drafted
Quentin Johnson. But I'm just saying Mike Williams could have made in this game would be a big impact sure. because there's no Trayvon Diggs. Yeah. And that way, now Gilmore is probably on Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
And obviously that balances out there. For me is I think is whose defense is going to make that final play, and obviously
that's Dallas for sure.
That's Dallas, and that's the main reason why I'm going with Dallas. Obviously, I don't think Dak is throwing 3 picks again this game. I think Tony Pollard will be is coming off 2 poor games. I think he'll be a big impact this game. I do believe that Tony Pollard will be more involved in this.
Who's home?
I don't know, but that doesn't matter. That Tony Pollard is going to have a monster game, and so
there's a big difference right now though. Who's OC for the Chargers?
Oh yeah, there's a
so he might be game planning out of his mind because he got fired and McCarthy took duties, and McCarthy showed last week that his play calling ain't the greatest.
Yeah, but like I said, my issue isn't their offense. My issue is that Dallas's defense. Like I do believe Chargers offense is better than Dallas's offense, obviously play calling wise and everything, if you're putting everything in effect. But the thing is that Dallas's defense is good enough to stop that offense. Whereas Chargers defense, as much as Dallas's offense is mid, Chargers defense is worse. So the plays that the Dallas defense is going to make are just gonna be
It all depends.
critical in this game.
The question is, can Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, these guys get to the...
Can Joey Bosa be on the field, first of all, because he was out last game?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because now he's coming off a bye week. But Derwin James, Asante Samuel, right? Listen, I won't be surprised if they lose. I'm just going to go with it because I'm rooting for Justin Herbert, right? Like, he's my favorite quarterback
I'm
now.
going with a Dallas, like a 3-point win.
Both teams...
I'm going with a touchdown win. My ending prediction is like Chargers are going to go try to like, tie it up at the end, the 2-minute drill. But that's where I predicted Dallas defense to make a big play.
Yeah, no, fair. Listen, both teams are capable of...
4-point win.
Both teams are capable of,
So Chargers are winning by...
Yeah, as well.
So my thing is Chargers are winning by 3. Dallas goes. Chargers defense F's it up. Dallas gets a touchdown. And then Dallas defense is going to make the play. And it's going to be a 4-point win.
Yeah, I mean, watch out for Michael Parsons. That's it. Just learn of what they did. Just put a fullback ahead of him and he'll be fine. Now, I don't know if they have a big enough guy to do that. But, yeah. So, that's our football so far. Again, Thursday's episode is where we do all our superlatives. Best... Or
disappointing
standout, and then previewing the next week. But in terms of this week, make sure you guys check out Thursday after this game because who knows if Dallas and the Chargers have a standout performance / if they make our top 5 power ranking. So Tuesday, Wednesday, check that out. One of us on each day, and yeah, let's get right into baseball, MLB.
We'll start off with the ALCS because game 1 happened on Sunday.
Yeah.
Where
we already made our prediction for ALCS, by the way. NLCS prediction, we'll do it right after.
Yeah.
Because that game ended literally the day after our recording.
Yeah, it did. So ALCS, refresher, we both picked the Rangers. I think I picked Rangers in 7. You picked Rangers in 6.
Yes.
And like I said, Rangers was our original prediction. Then we changed it
because the Rangers were like weird.
They're just being weird. They were being weird, and then they picked it up again in the playoffs, undefeated.
Their playoff performance is literally what they were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and they're undefeated in the playoffs because they took game 1.
Yeah,
and
what a play!
Reason being, what a play by Evan Carter. First of all,
yeah.
Reason being is Jordan Montgomery
killed it.
7 innings, scoreless, shutout, 7 shutout innings. Overall score was 2-0 from 2-0 win for the Rangers. Verlander had a decent game himself. And they do have a bullpen piece in Chapman and Leclerc.
How much? Okay, wait.
The issue is with Chapman.
Exactly.
And the commentator said it himself, is that when Chapman's fine, he's fine. But Chapman's always...
all over the place.
Is all over the place. And he's been... When you look at the numbers, I think it was 1 inning today. So 3 1/3 innings so far in the postseason, 0 runs. But the issue was he was on the edge on every single one.
Yeah.
Where he has allowed 4 walks. Today, Bregman had a big hit, big catch from Evan Carter, and double played because Altuve made a base running error as well.
Yeah, wait, what was that? Okay, so you were paying attention to the baseball game. I was paying attention more to the football game. So Bregman hit it, right?
Bregman hit it. Altuve is rounding the base, thinking that it might be a home run or hit the wall.
He stopped a second.
So he passed second, actually.
Yeah.
But on the way back, you have to hit second.
Yeah.
So the thing is, he passed second by half a step. That was the issue. Because that's where he crossed up his feet, missed the second base on the way back. Whereas if he took 2-3 steps to third, obviously, naturally, you're going to be hitting second base and going back. But the issue is he only went half a step past it. So he went over the bag on the way back. And then Simeon recognized it. I think Josh Jung recognized it.
Yeah, because Simeon's face was I was like, wait, what the hell's going on? Where was the double play? I thought there was 2 people on base when that happened.
Yeah, no. So then they just tagged second, and that base running error basically cost it. And Leclerc, I think that's how his name is.
Yeah.
Is a stud piece, right?
Leclerc, I think.
Leclerc?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's a stud piece. They did a good decision because before, I think, in the regular season, he was in the 8th and Chapman was in the 9th, so now they switched them.
Yeah.
So that's a good decision there. And yeah, if Chapman's on, you have good 2 bullpen pieces right there. But the issue is he's iffy.
Yeah, he sucked in save situations. In this case, it wasn't a save situation, but it's kind of a save situation at the end of the day because
you can't allow a run at the end of the day.
Also, a big factor why I also picked Texas. Bruce Bochy, he was a 3-time champ with the Giants, if I'm not mistaken, as well, right? And he's been there, done that. He should know how to manage these.
Corey Seager as well, been there, done that.
Yeah,
and
then you have vets and Marcus Semien who's been in the playoffs, I think, with Oakland before.
Yeah.
But big news though, Max Scherzer.
Game 2 start?
No, I'm saying he's back.
Oh yeah, he's back. Him and John Gray.
Yeah.
And
Who
yeah.
started? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. I think it's probably Evaldi. I'm assuming. They should probably announce the pictures.
Wait, so NLCS, why are they doing it the same day?
They always do it like that.
That's bullshit. The games are 1:37.
Yeah, they always do it that. Man.
I thought it was every other day. Like
no. MLBs, they do it back to back.
Oh, that's bullshit. I didn't realize that.
They don't.
For the CSs, like the championship series.
No, they do it every day.
No. I'm saying it should be every other day.
So it's 2-3-2, right? So if it goes to 7, it's be 2 a day break because of the travel, then 3, then a travel break, and then the 2 again.
Oh yeah, I just think it's bogus. Give the players extra time to rest, and then
137. But yeah, game 2 starters Evaldi and Valdez.
Makes sense.
So Scherzer could be there in game 3 or game 4. And so transition to the next one, I guess.
Yeah, so NLCS officially starts
Zach Gallen versus Zach Wheeler.
So
game 1.
As Jovan just said it, the Phillies ended up closing it out. So Jovan's prediction ended up being right, 3-1. And Atlanta very quickly had like a Blue Jays-esque postseason. Not enough offense because, which is weird. Which I have a question for you before we close off. After we do our predictions, I think you know where I'm gonna go with this. But with the NLCS, Phillies killed it again. This time they were down early. I think they were leading the other games, right? Were they?
It wasn't even like that long.
But there was 1-0. But
it was 1-0. Bottom after inning, Phillies tied it up right away.
Yeah.
So when
either way, they were technically down,
but they didn't have the chance to tie it. Yeah. So they technically after 3 innings they were still tied.
Yeah.
The home run ball. Big factor this year compared to last year. Nick Castellanos is playing out of his mind.
He's last year he struggled. First guy to have like 2 home runs in back-to-back games.
Like he had multiple home run, 2 back-to-back multi-home run games.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, so home run ball is killing it. Trey Turner is playing like Trey Turner again.
That's why they picked him up.
Nick Castellanos, like I said, he wasn't probably a ghost last playoff run. This playoff run, he's killing it.
And we're talking about a miracle with Aaron Rodgers. Bryce Harper came back pretty quick from a Tommy John. I get it, he's not really throwing the ball much because he's playing first base more, but still there when he's swinging a bat. So so let's get right into the predictions. How we expect. Like I said before, I thought the winner of the Phillies Braves series was gonna beat the Diamondbacks. I'm still feeling that way. I think your original prediction, it was right.
Yeah, it was the Phillies for the NL.
Even before the season, he said Phillies will come back to it. And I think the Phillies will. I'll give Diamondbacks 1 game. I think it could be 4-1. Listen, it's baseball. Anything could happen. That's why I love baseball. To the fact that anything could happen.
The fact that the Diamondbacks are here is surprising enough.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm going 4-1 Phillies. I get it. I get you've been right. You've been consistent with the pitching, but Phillies have the pitching. They have the experienced guys. They've been there, done that. In terms of getting to the World Series. And
I agree with you as Phillies.
No, I'm just saying in general, and I'm just giving you your credit here.
Yeah.
But
I'll take my credit.
Whereas the Arizona side of things, they're still young.
But they have the pieces, right?
They have the young. They have the pitching and they have the hitting. But
the issue here is like they both have 2 starting pitchers.
Yeah.
Right, but the thing with the Phillies 3 and 4 are better than Arizona's 3 and 4 starting pitchers. And obviously, Philly has the better bullpen. And
Arizona didn't really hit against top tier pitching, right? Like
it was Dodgers pitching, right?
Yeah, so they didn't have
Kershaw. I'll give you credit for that.
And who did they play in the other one?
Brewers. So Corbin Burns, I'll give you credit for that. And the other one was Freddie Peralta, game 2, because Brandon Woodruff was injured, which was a big loss for the Brewers. Yeah.
So what are you going with overall?
Phillies, yeah.
No, but how much?
I think
you want to go sweep? Just end it.
Yeah, I think it's sweep. I think it's sweep.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking dominant right now.
Home field is also Phillies, and that crowd is insane. And I just think they'll go back. You were kind of right. You could still be right with your original prediction and at the beginning of the postseason that it could be a rematch of last year. But you're still sticking with Texas. I know you said that already.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Texas.
So that being said, the debate came up with is the playoffs format fair to the teams that are having a bye?
Yeah.
Now, I get it. Houston's here, and I get that. But 3 out of the 4 teams have been wildcard teams, or they had to play a game.
Yeah, they had.
So Texas, in a way, is they happy. They're like, you know what? Good thing we lost the division. But
3 out of the 4 teams played in the wild card. So the issue is the teams that win the division, or so the top 2 teams in each league get a 1 week break.
Yeah.
And in baseball, you play every day. It's a rhythm sport, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta be in rhythm. You gotta play every day.
Pitchers especially.
Pitchers and hitting wise too, right? The timing is real. In baseball, timing is real, especially when you're hitting as well. So there's definitely a disadvantage there for being one of those bye teams.
Yeah. So do you think it is actually fair, or do you think that's just a load of bullshit for teams?
I still don't.
Like, is that the reason why the Dodgers really lost?
I still don't think the Dodgers should be getting butt whooped. I still don't think the Orioles should be getting their ass kicked.
The Orioles, I had a feeling because they were young, but again, they got their ass kicked.
I still don't think they should be losing 7-0 or down 11-0 or something like that, right? At any point of the game.
And who were the other 2? Atlanta got their ass kicked.
Atlanta was close, except for one game. They have to
have a tough matchup, but
except for one game. Like, first game was close.
Yeah.
Second game they won with a comeback. Third game they got their ass kicked. Fourth game was close. Right? Atlanta's issue was they couldn't get run support. Right? Spencer Strider.
So for you, it's like, suck it up. This is what it is, right? Like,
yeah, maybe you could.
There's no excuses, but.
So what was it again? So they had Sunday season ending. Monday was a break. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were the wild card series.
So my question to you is: should they go back to the original? Not the original seeding. Like, I don't care about this. Like, I'm fine with the 7 teams, but instead of 2 out of 3,
it's 6 teams.
Yeah, sorry, 6 teams. Because I forgot NFL was raised to 7.
Yeah.
The 6 teams, but when they had 5 teams, it was the one game, right? Blue Jays fans will remember the Encarnacion on the Orioles.
In 2016.
So should they go back to this do or die one game, and that way bring in the other games closer? So instead of having a week off, it'll be like an extra 2 days,
probably 3 days off.
Yeah, and then make that the wild card a 1 gamer, and then go 3 out of 5 for whatever the rest is.
So you played Sunday.
Yeah.
So you have 5 days off, Monday to Friday.
Yes.
The series start Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the 2 out of 3 is fair. I get it. Because you want to give a team a chance, but I don't mind the 1 gamer, which is it makes it more intense and everything goes nuts, right? Now, obviously, I'm not saying this as a Jays fan. I'm just thinking in general. Like, that's where true managing comes in. Like, for example, the Jays, we started Gosman. Do you bring Bassett out right away? No. I'm not even looking at the analytics side of things.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at that. But that, no, sorry, that could be a factor too.
That's
like
fair.
You could see that. Like, you could see what Schneider / the Blue Jays did. Can other teams gonna do that and just pull a guy who's hot out because of the analytics? Because it's a 1 game thing and you've tried to make it through.
But if it was Gosman, it's fair to take him out. I was surprised that they did it with Berrios.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying in general.
Gosman,
yeah, no. I'm just saying in general though. Other teams as well. Like, what if the Phillies were losing their wild card 1 gamer and it's okay, Wheeler's out, Nola has to come in. Whoever was starting, flip flop, whatever.
Yeah.
The managing on that one
I don't see as much.
No. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
take that situation away. I'm just throwing hypothetical. I'm saying, I'm not bringing the analytics into this. I'm saying how much of that will be in.
Yeah.
Because all the drama on a 1 wild card would be insane.
Yeah.
Whereas with a 2, I'm talking about a ratings perspective. Because if you look at a 2 out of 3. Unless you're Tampa Bay, who have no fans. But if you look at a 2 out of 3, it's we have a chance, right?
We have a chance.
You have that mentality. Whereas if you have the 1 game, it's do or die, everything goes now.
Yeah, that's fair. So if you did that do or die game, would you want all of them in 1 day? Because there'll be 4 games.
Just do it with Sunday, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday.
So Tuesday, Wednesday to...
The Tuesday teams will start playing Thursday.
So you're going to start them right away on Thursday then? Yeah, that makes sense. Tuesday teams start
that's
Thursday.
how it is, really.
Yeah, Tuesday teams start Thursday, Wednesday teams start Friday. Then they play every day anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could definitely obviously be better.
Plus, I think that's a win-win situation. The teams will have a shorter rest. If that's really a concern, I don't know how big the thing is. We need to listen to interviews of the losing teams in this case, the Braves, Dodgers, etc. And ratings wise, it's gonna be big too.
Yeah, at the end of the day, one game eliminations are always fun to watch.
Yeah.
Right. March Madness, NFL playoffs, right? They're fun to watch because
Yeah.
there's one game elimination.
The original wild card matchup.
The original wildcard matchups. So,
But yeah, I mean that's a
I
good.
can see your point there. Like
it's a
I
good
can see
debate,
that work.
right?
Yeah, I can see that work 100%. Like that, I can see that be a fix.
Yeah,
is what I'm
that's
trying to
that's
say.
a fix, and it's a good in terms of ratings and in terms of that.
And even if you do them all 4 in one day, whatever. Obviously, it'll be better if you split it up. But even if you do all 4 in one day, it will still be better. It will still be fine.
And the players will be more engaged. Like, they could be like, oh yeah, we lost this game 3-0. We're losing. We'll come back tomorrow.
Okay,
like,
yeah, no.
No. I'm just saying, like, the players will be more engaged. Like, if
The players are engaged.
players that are like, okay, let's
the
just
players are engaged.
no, Joven.
The players are engaged.
Players have said in the past, like, okay, it feels like we're gonna lose this game. They've said it in the past. I'm not making this up.
Players are engaged from the beginning of the game. From the beginning of the game.
Oh,
They're locked in.
I'm talking about the 7th inning, and let's say they're down like 3-0, and they can't get anything going.
Well, if you're the Jays, then yes.
No, I'm not talking about the Jays. I'm talking about in general. Players in general in any sport have said that they're human. They've said that, okay, I don't think anything's happening this game. Let's just try to do the best we can. If we can, recollect.
The way you worded it is like they weren't locked in.
Oh
that's
no,
that's how you said it.
I'm not talking about weak.
You're like the players aren't engaged, so I assume that.
I'm talking about.
I assume.
I'm talking about as the game goes on. I'm not talking about the first pitch.
Yeah. So the way you said it, I assume that you're like, okay, they weren't locked in. So like, let's just.
That's what I'm saying. I think that players will be locked in from innings 1 to 9.
Yeah.
Completely. Like, okay, we have to. Like, pressure is gonna be on. But yeah, whatever. If that's a fix, let's see. If that's really an excuse, that's what people know. I still don't think it's an excuse. I still think it's decent. But I feel like from a ratings perspective, a one gamer is.
It's not a reason why you lose 7-0.
Yeah,
that's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because Astros figured it out.
Yeah. That being said, that's a good fix, but I don't mind the current system. But if they want to boost ratings as well, that's a good fix as well.
Yeah. So let's move on to Quickfire here.
Very quickly.
WNBA.
Yeah. So John Qual Jones, looking like if they do make a comeback, she's the one favorite to win MVP, Finals MVP for the
Liberty.
New York Liberty.
Yeah.
So it's 2-1. Obviously, for the Aces, it's going still in New York. The game 4.
Was the game Sunday or Saturday?
I think this one's on Wednesday.
No, like the last game was it Sunday or Saturday?
Sunday.
It was Sunday, right? Yeah. So, I mean, John Cal Jones was the main mismatch there.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Asia didn't go off today. It was Kelsey Plum game.
Yeah. And it's a home game, right? So Liberty have to win.
Two more to win,
but like 3 and 4 were in New York as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna stick with Liberty. I'm not gonna change.
Yeah.
But like, at the end of the day, I ate my words because I was fully confident with a front court of John Cal Jones, probably the best center, and then Breanna Stewart, the best power forward.
Debate with Asia Wilson,
but I'll still give it to Breanna Stewart. And yeah,
massive debate with Asia Wilson. But yeah, that's the WNBA. Do you want to go to the boxing, specifically the Misfits boxing event? Or
quick talk, right? Let's not make this like 2 minutes. First of all,
we're not gonna go through each card.
Dylan Dennis, do not ever step in the ring again, please.
He's still tweeting like, "Oh yeah, I wasn't knocked out." He's a little,
Yeah.
You know what? Still trolling. Conor McGregor's like, I'm excited for the future for you. That was great. Or stuff like that.
I don't know. Please don't step in the ring again. And other fights were good, like the undercards.
Undercard was fine.
When it came to the main event, it was a dud as well. Logan Paul won. Said he's gonna focus on WWE. Called out Rey Mysterio, but that's it. But the main event was KSI Tommy Fury.
It was officially a professional bout, quote unquote, a professional bout. Actually, no, officially a professional bout, but his other fights, KSI fights, were technically professional, but not. It was labeled as an exhibition, but the fights were treated as professional still.
Yeah.
It was a draw. For me, there was like
they're both equally bad.
The KSI had the better shots because of the point deduction. I thought he got robbed of a win that way. I guess the judges favored 2 things: A, actual boxer; B,
the Fury name.
B. Okay, fine. B, the Fury name, and C, the last 4 rounds were just given to Fury. The difference between the Fury Jake Paul and Fury KSI. Jake Paul wanted to box Fury, and he did, and that's why he didn't do too well. Yeah, he clipped him in the 8th round, and that's when Fury fell with a slip contact, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, KSI's game plan was like, I'm not letting his strength, and I'm gonna just brawl, which is
chaos,
fine.
yeah.
And people want to say he doesn't know how to box. That's fine. That's
Like,
a different story.
The thing is, Jake Paul is good technically, right?
Yeah.
And obviously Fury is good technically because he's a boxer.
Yeah.
So then that environment obviously is going to benefit Fury as a professional. Whereas KSI making it a chaotic environment, Fury's like, what the hell is going on?
And he's in it, like the press conference and stuff. I've never seen Fury that fired up, right? I don't think I saw him this fired up in the Jake Paul press conferences.
Yeah.
Those of people making fun of KSI, how he reacted, it's like you want to see him care, and he was genuinely robbed. Like professional boxers and fighters. Israel Adesanya himself said that KSI won.
Yeah.
Right. Jake Paul tweeted like, "Oh my God, he won through another point deduction," and then realized, wait, never mind, he lost, and he's making fun of him. Makes sense. Like he's gonna get memed on. I don't care about that. Well, that's a different story.
But if I were to pick a winner, I thought KSI won.
Yeah, same.
Like if there's no
I
draws.
thought if I had to pick one or the other, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that because Fury's the actual boxer. The fact that KSI did this to actual boxers is a win on its own. Whether he had lost on points,
Yeah.
Which he did, eventually became a unanimous. I still think this was a moral victory for KSI. But yeah, I don't want to see a rematch because I feel like it's gonna be the same
That's
shit.
done, man.
That's done. Ended off with a Jake fight, and then let Jake do his things in boxing because he wants to be a champion. Whereas I don't think KSI would go that far. But yeah, those are our quick thoughts. There were many this commission had, because I watched the whole fight, like the whole card.
Yeah.
Because I was actually interested in this card. There were a few questionable decisions from the refs, especially in the undercard fights, like the not the main card, the undercard. But
yeah. So moving on, we'll go NHL. We'll end off with soccer.
You want to end up?
Yeah, we'll end off with soccer.
All right, we're gonna end up on a fiery note, most likely. Just
and
FYI.
by that, it's probably Man United talk. But
yeah,
NHL quickly. NHL season underway. Some teams played 2, some teams played 3, some people like the Islanders only played 1 game so far. And so just gonna be an early overreactions before we get into that. Devon Tays got his contract. Yeah,
so we alluded to it before that Devon Tays, who's a local guy, I think from Abbotsford, if I'm not mistaken, was in I think he played for the Surrey Eagles, if I'm not
actually, yeah,
I think he played for the Surrey Eagles, which me and you could try to tune into some games because it's in White Rock.
The Surrey Eagles, yeah.
I'll fact check that as well. But with Devon Tays, he had a storyline of where he was like a second round. He was a 108th overall pick, so not second round.
Yeah.
By the Islanders. Islanders then decided to
trade him.
He made the NHL at age 24. He's 29 right now.
Yeah.
So he made the NHL at age 24. I guess he started to do well, but the Islanders couldn't afford to keep him. Similar to Sam Lafferty's situation with the Canucks and the Leafs.
Yeah.
They traded him. Probably one of the worst trades because the trades were literally just like, I don't know what picks they were. I'll double check
nothing.
that.
It was for nothing. It was for nothing.
Yeah, and then
it was for nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So by the way, he did play for the Surrey Eagles.
Yeah.
I was gonna see the exact, but yeah. So he got traded. Ended up with Colorado. Smart trade by Colorado, and he was good enough to be partnered with the best defenseman in the league with Cale Makar, making him the best duo in the league by default. And his name doesn't get mentioned enough because he plays with Cale Makar. Because of that, Colorado has a lot of question marks still, right? They still need to pay a bunch of other people. Bowen Byram, another local guy to be exact, but 7 years, $7.25 million. Well-earned contract at 29.
It's fair.
At 29, fair.
I think the number is fair. Obviously,
you could think it's a steal with the cap going up. It's a steal as well.
Obviously, the term is like he's trying to bank out now, right? He's 29, like you said, and yeah, I think the number is fair for a player like him. And Colorado needed to make this. Colorado needed this.
He got traded for 2 second-round picks, 2021 and 2022.
So Colorado needed to do this, and
to keep the pairing going.
Yeah, because that pairing,
and they needed it for sure.
The pairing is nice. As simple as that. That's what I'm gonna say. The pairing is actually amazing.
Yeah, like I would have loved. He's a left shot though, but I would have loved him in Vancouver to pair with a guy like Philip Hronek.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's Devon Tays. Congrats to him. $50 million.
Yeah.
Total money. So, but again, hefty contract at 29. So let's see how it goes. Let's just go. NFL style. It's only been 3 games out of 82. Unlike the NFL, where it's like 1 out of 16 usually, or 17. But yeah, early overreactions, underreactions or anything like that, like that we thought underrated teams.
Overreaction right now. Matthews is on pace for 246 goals.
Yeah.
Because he's hat trick per game.
Quick thing, I think Umar said that like he's gonna win MVP. He's messaging us with. You see my boy as Matthews. The one thing I need to say to Umar, as a Vancouver Canucks fan, you're supporting a Toronto guy too much.
Now. That's too much. But no, my boy Besser, 4 goals in one game as well.
One game, yeah. We already talked about that.
Yeah. But yeah, let's just go with an early overreaction. The Canucks could win the cup.
Well, okay.
I'm just
early
undefeated. Yeah,
that's fair. Early overreaction, but not really now.
Okay, fine. Canucks could make the playoffs. Obviously, I'm gonna dial it back. 2-0.
PD needs to get his contract ASAP.
Yeah, Patterson needs to get his contract for sure. And
overreaction, I might be more higher on the Canadians than you were, and I'm looking right after 2 games.
After 2 games, yeah.
2 games. This is why we just want to have fun with this one.
Yeah. Tampa Bay suck.
Boston's undefeated.
And Boston's undefeated, who we put low in our tier list.
And Pittsburgh is first place in the division.
Well, tied with Carolina.
But they have the edge.
But, yeah, I mean...
And Anaheim's in a playoff spot.
The Canucks are undefeated. That's pretty surprising.
Okay, Oilers, though. 0-2. Both the games were against the Canucks.
Disappointed. Oilers and Kraken, for me. I didn't expect Kraken to start off this bad.
You didn't, yeah. Like, I thought they'll be fine. Like, 0-2-1. It's, again, 3 games in. We've seen worse.
It's overreactions. They're shit.
But, no, the Oilers, though. Both games were the Canucks. Both wins were the Oilers. Quick comment on McDavid. Because after the game, there was some stuff he said about he did not like the decisions that the other coach made. Why they took out Demko. I guess he didn't realize Demko was actually sick. But Demko was backed up in this game, so he was good.
Casey.
We have capable backups. Overreaction. We have the best goalie tandem in the league.
Best goalie tandem in the league, yeah.
No. Going back to the McDavid thing. This is what I'm gonna say, and I'm not calling McDavid out on this. I'm calling out the people saying Canucks fans especially, but like people saying McDavid's being a little whiny ass. You know what? Try to cut down the swearing here, but
low key.
I want to see him like this. Like people are saying that McDavid doesn't have an attitude. He doesn't have like a personality. He just goes political answers, sophisticated answers, right? People love Bedard because he loves to joke around in the media.
Yeah.
And he makes like those funny jokes. He's like, I was like happy I was with Crosby doing the face-off, but then I got my, destroyed on the face-off, right? So, whereas I want to see McDavid like be like in a heel mode toward the NHL or even a face-off, just make jokes, right?
Greatest
like,
heel turn in history.
No, but like obviously Oilers fans are gonna back him up. I'm saying like we still acknowledge he's the best in the game, probably the greatest talent ever, right? Some people, obviously, the older guys might disagree with that, but
from what we've seen,
he's the greatest talent ever, and I want to see this more. Like it's exciting to see it. Like he's calling out Talke, be like, why the hell did you put into Smith? Or why is power play 1 still playing when we're up 7-1? Now that part I'm like, okay, just suck it up. You're a professional. And the Canucks they want hashtag the start as Halbert and Bruff put it, and this is the best start they have since 2017. Now, granted, 2017 they did not make the playoffs, I believe. So, and the year they did make the playoffs, they were started off 0-2. I remember that definitively as well in the bubble year, 19-20 year. But no, I want to see players come out and talk shit. Whether it be to other teams' coaches, whether it be just be funny in the media.
Yeah.
You're seeing that with the NBA. You're seeing that with the NFL. We need to see that more in hockey, and it will be more last thing. Especially with ESPN involved and TNT involved, you want to see it broadcast in the US, and that's how A, you'll get your money with the cap going up, and B, you'll make hockey entertaining.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only issue is don't say shit to my coach.
Okay, obviously we're gonna back our coach, but this rant was more at a general reaction.
It makes sense. Yeah, I agree with you, but like at the end of the day, he kind of had a little bit too much to say after losing 8-1. That's my only issue with that. Whereas like because at the end of the day, you got your ass kicked, right? In my opinion, when you get your ass kicked in 8-1, the only thing you should be saying is that we got our ass kicked and we need to be better next time.
I'd rather have him say that though, just as a neutral fan.
Yeah, I know. Case. But if you lost like 4-3, then talk your shit, whatever.
Which is what happened this game. But no, it made sense for him to say 8-1 because like you said, the boring answer would have been we were shit. Yeah. I love that he did that. right? And guess what? Now he looks like more of an idiot
He's a
because
sore
we beat
loser.
him 4-3 because he's guaranteed a win.
He's a sore loser.
He guaranteed a win.
McDavid's a sore loser. Canucks are the best.
Yeah, but no. To make hockey entertaining, please, all players do this. Simple as that. Let's talk when you need to talk. I love it when more.
PD, call out
As
McDavid.
much as I don't like Marchand, he does.
Yeah.
The
Patterson, call out McDavid right now, right?
Yeah.
Because you're better than them right now.
PD's the one guy that won't still do it, I think. But I think that's it for the NHL right now. We'll try. Here's the thing. We're gonna be very NFL heavy for sure. NHL and NBA, we're gonna start. We're gonna have to make decisions here where he might follow more of the NHL, I might have to follow more of the NBA, or we'll flip accordingly. But our teams will take priority first.
Yeah.
But whatever storyline we notice on each sport, especially when it's specifically just NHL and NBA heavy, once the NFL MLB season ends and it's just soccer and NHL and NBA, we're going to try our best to talk, because of the NFL, it's very easy to talk weekly.
It's because like we could watch every NFL game, whereas we can't watch every NHL and NBA game.
Yeah.
Or not, we can't even watch most of the NHL and NBA games.
Because weekdays are involved, school, work.
A lot of games happening at the same time.
Game times, and so
and there's no red zone.
Unless you could help us get to 1,000 subscribers and we could quit our jobs and make this full time, then maybe that will help a little bit. But yeah, so we'll try our best. Like we'll do we might not talk NHL every episode unless we find some storyline that we like. Maybe we'll bring one or two storylines that we find interesting. And when the NBA starts, and that's how we'll incorporate it in.
Yeah.
Because NBA does have an in-season tournament starting.
Is that kind of how we do our MLB? Like, we haven't talked about it enough.
Yeah, essentially that's how it's gonna be. Because that's when we started, right? So
yeah. Moving on to the last thing, and we'll try to keep this short.
So here's the thing. It's soccer. It's an international break, and you guys are probably like, "Why are we gonna be salty about Manchester United? They're on international break. You guys should be happy." We still find a way to take an L, at least depending on who you ask in terms of United fan base. So Jovan and I have, and many Man United fans have said that we need a fresh start, and all from the top to bottom. Not the bottom now, because I'm fine with Ten Hag and players. Different story.
From the ownership.
From the ownership and management standpoint, we need a
scouting, all that stuff.
Stuff needs to be fixed. Yeah, to the point where like Sheikh Jassim, Qatari ownership should buy it, because based on what he said, now we don't know how true on his word he would have been, but based on what was reported, him versus Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I guess, were like, because the Glazers were quote unquote selling. At the end of the day,
that's a lie.
That was a lie. Like, it's been a year. It's literally going to be a year.
That's a lie.
Next month. So, and for the longest time, we've seen reports, Jassim's winning, Ratcliffe's winning, whatever. And the reason why a lot of United fans, including former players like David Beckham and Gary Neville, was now we live in Surrey, so the stadium doesn't take an effect on us. But in terms of like the players, and eventually our goal is to go to Old Trafford, and Amr, check out the pod, he shared his story that it is genuinely a theater of dreams when you enter it, even though it's kind of like not the best environment.
It's a makeshift Rogers Arena.
Yeah. And the practice facility isn't there. Like Ronaldo has come out and said all of that stuff as well. That he was willing to invest, first of all, get debt free, because there's a lot of debt. Invest into the club with his own money, which
men's side, women's side,
which they've never done.
Men's side, women's side, and youth, everything. Yeah.
Which they have, Glazers have never invested. They just took the success of Man United as a global, arguably top even soccer franchise in the world, even general franchise in the world, and used that money to invest in certain things and gave a little bit of a budget. And Sheikh Jassim officially has withdrew
after his last offer,
which was like 5.2 billion pounds or something, where, like we said, debt clearing, upfront payment apparently, because they're rich, Qatar.
He's had it in cash.
Yeah,
he's had it in his trunk.
Yeah. And state of the art facilities for all stuff like that, scouting.
And then Glazer declined, and then he's like, screw
this.
He's been doing it for like what? I don't blame him. He's been doing it
for a year,
multiple bids.
They're not trying to sell, right? And now Sheikh it's
just a ploy.
So he's out as of right now. Like they didn't. I don't think. Technically, he withdrew, right? So either I heard it wasn't rejected. I heard it was like, okay, I think they said we will see that type of response. So he probably felt like
sense because it's been going on for a year, right? He's been putting these offers up front, all this stuff.
So
for a year now.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I think, is 25%. By the way, this is more legit because Fabrizio Romano also tweeted this out.
Yeah.
Jim Ratcliffe will now be buying a minority stake,
25%,
which is more of the option because two of the Glazers, which are the main guys, Joel and Avram, rat face looking asses, don't want to sell. The rest of the family does because there's so much backlash, obviously, with how England goes with their soccer.
Who let those guys cook?
Yeah. And they were like looking more for minority stakes, and Ratcliffe sold out. He's like, you know what? Sure. 25%, but eventually I want control. Now, listen, maybe Ratcliffe will be the best guy in 3 years' time when he does local. We don't know, but we want change now, and that was Sheikh Jassim. And I'm not going to sit here and say we haven't spent the most money. We have, but they're the ones spending the money on shitty players when we could have gotten guys like Holland and like Julian Alvarez, etc.
The issue is it's a thing it's just separate, right? You have like your ownership, and then you have like your player scouts or director of football, and then you have your manager, right?
And then for us, January transfer window doesn't count, and they want us to sell players, and they're the ones paying these guys a lot of money.
Yeah, and
so no one wants them.
So then my point of them being all three separate, right? Like, the football club should be run all three together, where like you find a player that will fit in the coach's system, that a player scout found, and then the owners like, yeah, we'll buy them.
Work as one, but not interfere with the others. Let Ten Hag do his shit with the coaching. Ten Hag will tell the DOF, whoever it is, hey, I want this guy. Try to get this guy. This guy's the backup, and then the ownership is gonna be like,
or just this type of player.
He's like, here's the money. Essentially,
it's not even a player, but like this type of player. Like, I need like I don't know, some sort of like a bruiser in the middle or something like that.
But yeah, so that's what that is. So we're just annoyed because there's fans that are fine with it. They're like, okay, whatever. We get to see this now. There's obviously the moral side of things. Qatar is involved. As well. We're not going to get into the political side of things there. But yeah, I was genuinely hoping that we just have a fresh start. And you look at clubs like City, the owner actually invests his own money and, look at their success. PSG on the flip side is like the opposite. Like they're trying to do it.
We don't know what the outcome would be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it just feels like the club's being held hostage.
Yeah, which it is. Now it still is.
So that's why I'm just like, I don't care if it was Ratcliffe or Sheikh Jassim. Obviously, looking at what City did, I'm like, I don't mind the Qatar oil money, whatever.
Because Ratcliffe owns Nice in the French league.
And he can't fund that.
He could, there's like reports that he can't do that properly, and now he's somehow doing the biggest club in England and arguably the biggest club in the world. However people want to view it. So that's the annoying part. We'll see how it goes out. The only way the Glazers will actually sell is if we stop actually buying stuff and we actually empty the stadiums from the minute one. Right? And that's how it all works. If you want the Canucks to sell with Francesco, it's the same thing. Stop going to the games and stop buying merch. But, people are going to still do it. If we ever go to England, we're going to end up going to a game because how often do we go to England? If this was going on right now, right? So, yeah. That's the annoying part. But that being said,
we stay taking L's, baby.
Yeah. Soccer/football will be back next. Soccer, football will be back very quickly. Canada got destroyed against Japan. We didn't even talk about it off camera because we forgot about it.
I mean, that's
I should message Peter. Be like, what happened? I have to listen to their podcast still
as well. Yeah.
So tune into that.
Their lineup wasn't obviously like full strength
because it was a stocky mainly.
And then Mauro Biello was like the fill-in coach.
Yeah, but it's not a good start for him.
Yeah.
Don't blame him either too much.
They're thrown into that situation. Yeah. And other thing is, I think some teams qualify for the Euros. I think
Scotland officially qualified.
Scotland, Turkey, Spain. I think France is in there. I think
Portugal's a win away.
No, Portugal's in. France, Portugal were the early ones, and then it was Spain, Turkey, and Scotland were added in. I think Germany.
Spain beat Norway, so
I think Germany's in there as well. Maybe.
Here's the thing, though. Holland, you better be qualifying for the Euros. If Scott McTominay got Scotland qualified, you and Odegaard need to get Norway qualified.
Yeah, you and Odegaard.
If you want to be in conversation of Ballon d'Or in the future,
you and Odegaard are a good duo to qualify.
World Cup, I understand.
Yeah.
Euros, if Gareth Bale got his team to the World Cup and the Euros, you should be a perennial Euro team. You see Denmark do it. You've seen Turkey do it. If you're that really big of a superstar, you better do it.
Yeah, no, Euros is no excuse.
You can't be struggling to get in either, but if you do...
And World Cup's 48 teams, so I don't give you an excuse for that anymore either.
Yeah, that's because that's the debate people are having. Is World Cup that big or not? I think Ballon d'Or is at the end of this month as well. And we've had 2 predictions. I think Peter Galindo had one and Amr had the opposite.
So ours is Messi, both of ours.
Yeah. Amr's is Messi.
Amr's is Messi, Galindo's is Haaland.
Amr's like us because we're United fans and he's a Ronaldo fanboy as well, but he acknowledges that Messi's the GOAT.
Yeah,
So,
same.
But yeah,
Just
Peter
like
Galindo's, we'll probably drop clips, but also check out the full episode with Peter and Amr. Yeah, I think that's it pretty much for us. Like I said, make sure you guys watch the Amr podcast. It was great. Shared some insight, gave some wisdom.
Nice pointers, yeah.
Pointers. Well. His experiences being a physio at a live event, what it was like, good, bad. You guys want to check that out. And while you're at it, go check out the Jeevan podcast. Go check out. Oh, speaking of Jeevan, World Cup. Hopefully he makes the roster, which he should. Starts November 10th, Indonesia. He should be leaving for camp soon. And check out the Derek podcast as well.
Benepal.
Oh yeah, and Ben. Sorry, forgot about you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew I was forgetting someone because all the soccer guys.
There's a soccer guys connected, right?
We are probably recording a guest podcast if schedules align this week.
Yeah. So
that should be out.
If that happens, it should be out in 2 weeks.
Yes.
NBA tier list this weekend for sure. Aiming for Saturday.
Yes.
And hopefully nothing goes wrong. I think we should be fine. So it should be Saturday. And anything else?
No. So that's pretty much it from us. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And follow all our socials. Download the podcast. Subscribe, yes. But download and hit the post notification bell. And download our podcast on audio platforms and give us a 5-star rating. Other than that, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.